So, on this lovely day, we are going to find the surface area of a cylinder. Now, it turns out that a cylinder is a prism, except it's not. So today, we're going to use the exact same formula, but circleize it. That's it. So let's take a gander here. First and foremost, we do need to be able to define and label certain things in a cylinder. On page 2, a cylinder. When you are dealing with a cylinder or a prism, the most important thing is the base. The base. Area of the base, perimeter of the base, and height is the distance between the bases. So in this case, my base is a circle. So this whole thing is my base. And there's one on the bottom too. It does not have to be top and bottom. Clearly that's my center, and this puppy here is called my radius. The height is always the distance between the bases, sometimes called altitude. Distance between the bases here. Now, the lateral face here is going to be the rectangle that's wrapped around the circle. So this is my lateral face. It is a rectangle, but it's been wrapped around. So imagine rolling up a piece of paper. That would be your lateral face. Remember that lateral area is the area of the non-bases. Of the non-bases. So in this case, it's just the rectangle. In this case, it's the rectangle that's wrapped around. The surface area is going to be the area of all the pieces. Now, you don't need to break it up, but it's 2 circles plus a rectangle. If you were to break it up as a net, 2 circles and a rectangle. Again, you do not need to draw this, but this would be the wrapped around part, and now those would be the bases. That's essentially what we mean. Now, the nice thing about the formula for the surface area is that it's exactly the same formula we did previously. Surface area is 2b plus pH. And you say, why do we need a different formula? Well, we don't. It's actually this. But however, what is my base? What shape is my base? It's a circle. So I can now substitute in. I have 2 pi r squareds. Because the area of my base is pi r squared. It's a circle. Now what about perimeter? What do we call perimeter of a circle? We actually call it a circumference. So that's 2 pi r. And then h is my height, and h is my height. So notice, this formula is a lot easier to consider. Wait, it looks more complicated. No, look, 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. In terms of memorization, it's a straightforward thing. 2 areas of circles, and over here is the perimeter or the circumference, and the h is the distance between the bases. So it turns out that the area of a right cylinder is not very complicated. It's actually less complicated because we don't have to figure out what the base is. It's the circle. No thinking necessary. All right, so find the surface area here. The key here is to recognize this is my radius and recognize this is my height. Why? Because that's the distance between the 2 circles. So when we substitute in, my surface area is equal to 2 pi times my radius, 6, squared, plus 2 pi times my radius times my height. And that's a 4, not a 9. Let's go ahead and simplify. Notice here, this becomes 36 right there. And when I double that, I get 72. 72 pi. Plus, this becomes 24, doubled is 48, so 48 pi. Now at this stage, if you wanted to plug that into your calculator, you can. I'm going to go ahead and add those together. So here I get 120 pi, and I'm going to plug that into my calculator. 100 times pi 376 point, and it says round to the nearest hundredths, I believe, so 99. Let me just check the instruction. Oh, round your answer to 2 decimal places. So that's my answer. Notice the 99 does not round up because the number that comes after the 9 is a 1. So it keeps it as that. What am I missing?
The units.
Units. So it's centimeters squared. Centimeters squared. All right, good. So radius is height, 5, and this is my height. And that's it. We plug those guys in to do that. Please. So my surface area is going to be 2 times pi times my radius, which is 5, and we square that one. Then we're going to say 2 times pi times radius again, which is 5, and times my height. Rhythm stays the same, 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Okay, so now continuing, this one gives me a 50 pi, and this one here gives me 80 pi. What the Gehenna is going on here? All right, pi plus 80 pi, 80 pi, and then we get 130 pi. And when you calculate that out, you get 408.41. And what's my unit here? Inches. Inches squared. Good. Box or circle your answers to find that.